All right, anyway.
Scenario. You're chilling in your Cheeto dust stained gaming chair at 11 p.m. on a Friday night, bored out of your goddamn mind, looking on the Steam store page, desperate to find anything that might entertain you. You see a game with overwhelmingly positive reviews on sale, so you know you gotta snatch it.
That's
You
like
buy it,
blowing me
then you
out.
boot it up and start playing. Your boredom quickly subsides, but only for 5 minutes. Then it comes back at you at full force, stronger than it ever was. You quickly Alt F4 out of the game, then you say to yourself, I'm not really feeling it today. Maybe tomorrow. And with that, you proceed to never play.
Is that how you feel, I?
Sometimes.
Maybe today, not tomorrow.
Yeah, some days.
I think isn't that Tack, The Adventure of Juju? Remember that show? It was like a Nickelodeon show or something?
It was, a really long time ago.
I'm pretty sure that's what that is. Maybe. Anyway, so when you're playing a game,
It is.
you figure that, like, I kind of get that when you play a game constantly. You know, like, you just get burned out.
Yeah.
That's the way I feel about that.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
It's just like, I'm enjoying, like, right now, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? And that's exciting. Don't get me wrong. But if you keep playing it over and over again, or, like, just run around constantly doing the same things, then it gets monotonous. Or, like, you just get burned out, I guess.
Yeah. It loses that, like, sparkle.
Right. And that's a little different from, like, MMOs, because most people, have different experiences when they're playing MMOs, because there's other people with them, doing the deed, if you will.
That is true.
But if you're just playing a game by yourself, it's just kind of like,
Yeah, same thing every day.
Play the game again, just letting it sit in your library to collect dust for an indefinite period of time.
Hey, that's another thing, by the way. So if you have a digital library, and I've actually discussed this several times, if you have a digital game, you're more likely not to play it. What did I do with my pinky there? Did it break? Not to play it if it's in a digital library as opposed to if it's physical. Because if it's physical, you have to take it out of the deal, put it in your system, and play the damn thing. So you're more likely to play it. Now, if it's in digital, you're like, swipe through. I don't want to play this one. I don't want to play that one. I don't care about this one. I don't care about that one. How many times have you looked through all your games, and you realize that you're like, oh, there's nothing to play. But there's technically everything to play.
That is very true.
Yep. It's
it's
one of those
hard.
things where you're like,
Yeah.
you want to focus on whatever next game you have, but you can't. Because you're like, oh, I should play this and I should play that. And you're like, okay, when am I going to get to that? And it's never. The answer is never.
Sadly.
Because you're going to go through your library if it's digital and just swipe through. And you're like, I should get to that. Yeah, I'm good.
Another day.
Yep, another day.
Yep.
We've all been there. Let's be real. But the question is, how did we get there? A decade ago, we
Maybe that wasn't Tack. I don't know.
enjoyed all our games.
I
even though
think
they
it
had
is.
No, I think, maybe it is Tack, because in the second one, I remember the taller, gangly dude. So Tack and the Power of Juju or whatever, that one, the guy's shorter, like Mario. And Luigi is like his sidekick, which is much, oh man, my hand broke in half again, which is much taller. So,
Yeah. And he has the feather in his head.
yeah, yep.
the worst
You do
graphics
remember.
and sometimes super wacky
Yes.
controls. But regardless, we still had the time of our lives. How did we go from being able to play our older consoles for hours and hours without even a
that's
hint of
definitely-
boredom?
Oh, yeah.
To
that's
today,
him.
where we barely have the drive to play a new game for more than a couple of minutes. Our game
It's called being a kid and having a shit ton of time on your hands. That's what that's called. And
What
as
a
an
time.
as an adult, it sucks, and you have zilcho time to do any of that wacky shit.
is getting worse,
Yeah.
or are we just getting too old for video games? And how do we enjoy games again? Well, lucky for you, I have a couple answers to these questions. You see, I too have gone through a period of my life where playing video games was less entertaining than watching paint dry. And I want to share the methods that helped me find fulfillment in even the least stimulating of games. So let's
Hey, is that Baldur's Gate?
It does look like it.
Yeah, that is Baldur's Gate. Hell yeah, we had that shit going on there. That's what I thought.
Oh, yeah.
You can't
Lots of
fool
fun.
me. You can't fool me. Most people thought you could fool me, but you can't. Fucking Baldur's Gate. God, we got to get back to Baldur's Gate 2.
Oh, yeah. Then
Oh.
someday.
I am dreading that day. I mean, I'm not, but I am at the same time.
It's going great.
It's a good game, but it's one that
It is a good game.
will destroy your life if you're not careful. Just saying. I don't know what's going on with him.
Oh.
Actually, that's my face every time I see one of those games.
But first, why does this
Yep.
happen? Why is it the games were so much more fun when we were children, but now, not so much? Well,
Because everybody's too worried about fucking 8K graphics and how well their PC runs each game, and they're obsessed with that bullshit. As a kid, we didn't care. Like, each game looked graphically amazing. You know, with each alliteration of it, you know, from the Super Nintendo or regular Nintendo on up, whatever. Like, each generation, it looked better and better. Now it's like, not much of a difference, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, if you talk to the PC Master Race fools that are like, "Oh my god, it's so crisp," and you're like, "Okay, well, when you grew up on the
Whatever works
couch,
for you.
yeah, and when you grew up on the couch playing video games, you're just like, you know, you just want the game to play good." You know?
Yeah. We didn't care if it was pixelated or not
No,
the most crisp image. It was still amazing.
those bad boys. Look at Final Fantasy VII. Like Final Fantasy VII's graphics look beautiful, sort of, but in their original state, they're garbage.
Yeah.
You know, compared to like when they well, I don't know if they remastered it, but they released it with better, like the PC version, which looked really good, but it's still angled characters, you know. But that looked amazing compared to like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
It is.
On another
It is
level.
literally insane. Just graphics wise, they did a great job. But still, it's just like, I don't know. People just seem to get way too bored. I don't know
Yeah.
why.
Very quickly.
And it doesn't matter if the game has great graphics or great gameplay. I mean, they find something to dog on it about, you know. It's
Yeah.
kind of
Sadly,
bizarre.
can't make everybody happy.
No, and no one's ever going to be happy, really.
No.
And there's always going to be something wrong with the game, but that's just what you get. And some things, like I can see how they blow things out of proportion, like the pay to win and all that crap. You know, we really didn't have that back in the day either, but you know, it's completely different now. The landscape's completely different.
Yeah.
Not the same.
there could be any number of reasons, that vary depending on the person. Could be because video games were novel when we were younger, and now that we've had these luxuries for so long, we take them for granted.
Yep.
Could also be that your friend group used to play video games together, and after years and years of adulting, your friends slowly drifted apart,
Yep.
causing you to be all alone with little desire to play
Yep,
games.
Yepers, yep.
Or it could just be that you're working too much, and gaming doesn't really fit into your tight schedule of working and napping and working and napping and working.
All
and
the
napping.
above.
It could be pretty much anything, but the most prevailing one that I hear is that video games are getting worse. This opinion is common with millennials and doomers, both of which usually don't even play video games. While it's true
What the hell? What do you say, boomers or doomers?
I couldn't tell what he said.
millennials and doomers, both of which
Doomers. Yeah.
with millennials and doomers, both of which
What the fuck is a doomer? Do we know what a doomer is? Doomer and by extension, doomerism are terms which arose primarily on the internet to describe people who are extremely pessimistic or fatalistic about global problems such as overpopulation, peak oil, climate change, ecological overshoot, pollution, nuclear
Oh.
weapons, and runaway artificial intelligence. What? I mean, like doom and gloom. Like, oh, we must save the planet. But I don't think that's what those type of people would be in video games. I don't know, that seems a little bit weird, don't you?
Yeah, just a little bit. I guess I don't really understand how it applies, but
Maybe it applies because like people, like a new game comes out and these people immediately like, I fucking hate this game. I've never even seen it or played it. I don't care. Probably what it is. You know what I mean?
yeah, probably.
I mean, it's just like, doesn't seem. That's a weird way to look at games. But from a standpoint
Yeah.
where, like, you know, per se, like me, or maybe even you, I don't know. But, like, I own every system and I play all the games. So it's not that big of a deal. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Like, most
Yeah,
people are like,
I don't have a PlayStation, but other than that, I have all the consoles.
right. And that's the thing, where you see, like, more people that, like, oh, you know, PlayStation, screw Xbox, or, you know, vice versa.
Yeah.
You know, it's when you own all of them, you're like, meh, I don't care.
It's not as big of a deal anymore.
No, I win on all fronts.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty awesome. And I get it. Not everybody wants to spend the money on something else, but
Yeah.
I mean, I get the console wars. Like, shit, that was big even when I was a kid. between Nintendo and Sega. Holy shit! I mean that stuff was fucking nuts.
Yeah.
And you knew it too. Each kid that was like, you know, oh, Sega's better or whatever.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, like my best friend had a Sega, and I had a Super Nintendo. But I was all pro Nintendo. I was like, screw Sega, and fuck Sonic. That's what I was thinking.
Did you guys like take turns playing on each other's ones though?
Oh yeah, yeah. When I come over to his house, I'm definitely on the Sega. I hated the controllers though, because he
Nice.
used to play a game. Shoot, it was a fighting game, but it wasn't Mortal Kombat. It was something else. And he's like, and on the Super Nintendo, you had like all the combinations of the buttons and stuff. So like you had the A Y B X, or was it X Y A B? Whatever. Anyway, on the Sega one, it was only A B C, unless you got the special pad that had, was it A B C? I don't know if it was. It was like 1, 2, 3 ABC maybe. Shit, I don't remember which one it was. But anyway, they had 6 buttons on it eventually. But the Nintendo had like the bumpers up top, the L and R buttons, plus the 4 buttons on the front. It was just universally a better gamepad, I think. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
I just remember the old console wars, and then it got really deep when it was past Super Nintendo and like N64 came out, and then the PlayStation shortly after that, or somewhere in the same time frame.
Yeah, something along those lines.
But like, see, the big thing about the difference between those two though is PlayStation only had 2 ports, so for like players to play,
Oh, right.
and so it could only be like you could do the multi, whatever it is, pad thing, but there wasn't very many games for it. So
Yeah.
the fucking N64 really dominated the market because it had 4-player games constantly. Like it was on the couch. You had an N64, you were set straight up. Like you got Mario
Yeah, that would be
Kart,
nice.
Smash Brothers, all that shit. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And then PlayStation was more for like Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Solid, Twisted Metal, Final Fantasy games after they left Nintendo.
Yeah.
There's so many classics on the PlayStation, but to me, I remember the PlayStation more or less being something that you played by yourself rather than with somebody else. This is my take on it.
Usually don't even
A
play
lot of the
video games.
games I had, I did
For
play
you,
by
8 years ago.
myself, but
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
some I played with like my brother. We'd hook up to the 2 controller ports.
Yeah, there's 2-player games. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It just
not
wasn't
very
like
many.
like WWF or whatever, WCW, where you're like, oh, like mosh pitting on top of each other, and like
Yeah.
there's more epic 4-player games, But
Yep.
either way,
Go. In the current era, there are so many things that are feeding for your attention. These things are usually a
Yep.
million times more stimulating than playing a little old story game. Whether that be social media or
you ever wondered that like RPG story games, like kids don't have the attention span for it, and that's why I can see like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is only cool to people that are like older. Like I would say super old, but you know what I mean. Like above that age of the teenagers. 'Cause, like, how in the hell is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth going to compete with Fortnite? I don't think it can,
Yeah, that's true. Kind of
because
sad.
like Roblox and Minecraft and Fortnite is going to outdo and
Yeah.
outperform any game like Baldur's Gate 3, or I mean, you pick really. Even Dragon's Dogma.
Yeah.
Even when Baldur's Gate 3 won the gaming awards, they were like, what the hell is this shit? It's garbage. Like, who wants to play an RPG game and why is it number 1? Should be Call of Duty or something. Or insert any shooter game.
Yeah, very true.
I mean, really. Actually, I haven't seen a Modern Warfare game or a Call of Duty game. I mean, they have like tournaments and stuff for them, but I can't remember the last one that they really won anything.
I'm not certain either.
Remember when
That's a good question though.
when there was like a bunch of them that came out, and each one was better and better than the last, right? More explosions, more people dying, more better maps, whatever. But like, you don't really hear about them anymore. Like 2010? I guess till now. I mean, they did re-release some and redo like Modern Warfare 3 or whatever. But, like, you never hear about them anymore, you know?
Yeah.
Except for the hardcore people that still play them. But, I mean, you could do that with anything.
Short form content like TikTok and YouTube Shorts, or maybe even Twitch streamers whom you have a routine of watching every single day. All of these things require much less discipline than playing a single player game. But despite that, finishing a game is
I don't know what that's like because nobody watches this.
Aw.
It's quite sad.
is.
Oh, it is quite sad. It's fine.
Mm.
More, I mean, you know, maybe more people will stop in. Who knows?
Yeah.
We can be lame together. What do you think about that? It's pretty awesome
All
if
the
you ask
lame
me.
people in one place.
Oh yeah, baby.
is far more fulfilling than scrolling through TikTok for a couple of hours, or mindlessly watching a Twitch streamer.
Yep. Hey, we're
Finishing a
on there.
good
What do you
game,
know?
feel happy, satisfied, euphoric even, and sometimes you let out some tears if the story was sad enough. That or you're letting out some tears if you just finished Redfall and you're just now realizing that you can't refund this piece of garbage.
Oh.
Yeah, that's bad. Oh shit. Talk about blowing you out.
Whatever the case, there's nothing like finishing a good game.
Oh
But
god.
compare this to watching TikTok, where you get a huge boost of stimulation in the beginning that slowly wanes over time. Anyways, the thing that worked best for me was slowly weaning off my bad habits for weeks until they were nothing. But before I teach you this method, I want to tell you that moderation is key. Even though
Yep.
short form content can corrode your attention span, at the end of the day, almost anything is fine in moderation, and it's up to you to determine what has a negative impact on your life. For me personally, I see video games as a perfectly fine and healthy form of recreation, at least for most video games. But for some,
Ooh.
they may think video is a complete waste of time. On the other hand, short form content and social media
I know somebody I like the new guy I work with. I asked him if he gamed it up. He's like, no. All I do is fish.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, okay.
You two
Like,
will
well,
have lots to talk
Well,
about.
yeah. The weather's not doing too well, so that's not really a thing, huh? So I'm like, okay.
No fishing weather today.
Yeah, it's just threw me off. I'm like, well, that's that, I guess.
serves as
Alrighty.
visual junk food for me. But for you, it might be the complete opposite. And also, not all these things are equally bad. Having a Twitch streamer on your
He must be obsessed with tech. Interesting.
second monitor while you play a repetitive game isn't awful, but doing the same thing with a story game that requires your full attention to enjoy might ruin the experience. You decide what recreational activity is worth your while. Now that that's out of the way,
You must fish. Do it now. Okay. That's my
All the
PSA.
fish.
All the fish. You need to rub them up on your face.
Yes.
Like, what do you do for
Do it.
what do you do for recreational hobby or fun? He's just like, I like to get the fish and rub it up on my face.
Ooh.
The gills, they feel good, really good.
Oh no.
Yep. No, you go ahead and keep that in your mind there in your backlog and.
No, take it back. I don't want it.
Why? It's so much more entertaining than video games.
Oh gosh.
I already told you that already. I mean, I tell you, like, now if it's like the deadliest catch, those guys are like blowing the shit out of their boat to get like
Oh,
a giant
yeah.
like swordfish or something where you could literally get
Tuna.
impaled. Oh my god, yeah, tuna too. Those things are freaking huge.
Yeah, they get massive.
Like the size of the boat.
Yes,
Now that-
yeah, a swordfish leaping out of the water at you.
That is fishing.
Yeah.
Straight up.
this is how you can eliminate negative habits. First, you go through your day like normal, doing whatever you do on a daily basis,
Yep, that's me.
regardless of how bad it is. Log down your daily routine on a piece of paper or in
That
the
is
notes
not
on
me.
your phone. Write down the habits that you deem as distracting or draining of your attention span. Then anytime you participate in these habits, start a stopwatch. You can use your phone
No
for
one
this
ain't
too.
doing that
Once you're done
shit.
with the habit, you write down the time of the session on the piece.
Who's gonna do this?
Who's got time for this?
No one's gonna write that shit down. You barely want to like pay attention to what this guy's even saying right now.
Piece of paper and you
Okay,
add it
now
up as
in
you
your
go. At
journals.
the end of the day, you should have
In your journal, look at this. In your journals. Are you kidding me? Do you have a journal?
No,
Oh, I was hoping you were gonna say yes.
I did growing up. I don't anymore. Who has time for that?
What'd you do with the journal? Is it still in your house?
I think it's like in a tote somewhere
I
in
think
my
you
house.
should
I'm just not sure what tote.
you should get it out sometime and read it.
Yeah, I'll read my
Like, wow,
uh
I'm
teenage meme, preteen me's
man,
journals.
I
It's probably chaotic.
really I'm cringy right now. Like if you think about, I don't know, think about like not so much the journal, but think about all these other YouTubers. Like whenever you're on YouTube in general, like all the videos they make and the stuff that we talk about, it's here forever until YouTube explodes, right? So if you ever go back, let's say 10 years from now and we watch this, we're like, what the hell were we talking about? And then it's just gonna be you and me fishing.
Fishing.
You're like, we just like to fish. That's all. I mean, I don't know what our problem was back then. We were stupid.
Yeah.
We're stupid. I should write this in my journal, tell us how stupid we were back then.
Back when I resumed my journaling.
Yep. Lame.
Oh yeah.
Have all your habits timed out, and this will give you a really good baseline of all the habits you need to improve. Let's say your day looks like this: 8 hours of working, 4 hours of watching TikTok,
Man, that guy was smoking a stove, huh? For 8 hours.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
2 hours of social media,
What was that?
1
It
hour
just
of
blurred
crying in
by.
the
What just
session on a
happened?
piece of
Hold on
paper,
here.
and you add it up as you go. At the end of the day, you should have all your habits timed out, and this will give you a
Okay. Watch thug videos. What the fuck?
I did not catch
So
that. The
yeah,
first
that's what I
time.
was trying to figure out what the list was. 10 minutes of TikTok, 8 hours
What
of
was
work.
the last one?
Shit, I'm way over the 8 hours. 2 hours of napping? Who the hell? I mean, you probably do you nap? I don't nap.
I wish I could.
I
get no time.
physically cannot nap.
Oh really?
Yeah, because I just figure I should be doing something more productive with my time.
Yeah.
No, like watching thug videos for 3 hours. And whatever that is.
I just
Bukatan?
had to look that up.
What is it?
It's a video.
Uh-oh. Is it bad?
I don't know. It looks kind of wild.
I don't want to show it. You better look at it first. Is it people? Just describe it to me.
I don't know.
What? 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 Is it bad?
No, I don't know what happened.
Is it someone that
It's
explodes?
it's a man like wailing or something. I'm so confused.
Oh man. All right, we'll have to look it up later. Is the internet safe?
Yeah, I think so. It's yeah. There's
Mbuku?
yeah. Just search that and it should pop up like something meme original.
All
That's the
right.
one I watched.
God.
Looks like people have remixed it.
Which one
Yeah.
is it? This one? The meme?
I guess I'm not sure. It was oh,
I remember that one, but which one did you find?
it says just meme or that word and then meme original video.
All
Let me
right.
get here real quick.
Meme original. Oh, there you go. That
Yeah,
one?
that one.
I'm at the
What the? What the? That's what that was? And how long is he doing that for? 2 hours?
People have like remixed him into like chorus and choirs and
That is so awesome.
random.
Wow.
really good baseline of all the habits you need to improve. Let's say your day looks like this: 8 hours of working, 4 hours of watching TikTok, 2 hours of social media, and 1 hour of crying in the shower thinking
Yep.
about her. For the next couple of weeks or months, slowly replace these things with gaming or another recreational thing that you
Or
want to
tech.
do more of, like hiking,
power of Juju.
hunting, whatever you do. The next day you might reduce all your habits by, let's say, 5 minutes or however long you feel comfortable with. And during the meantime, you make yourself play video games to fill the gap. This is a very slow but effective method of replacing your habits. It might be hard at first and annoying to constantly log your hours, but it'll most definitely pay off in the long run. Trust me, if you do this every day and keep logging your hours, in a couple of weeks or months your habits will be where you want them to be. But make sure you
Okay.
don't try to rush the process. You might be tempted to just say screw it and try to quit these addictive habits
What everybody would do in like 30 seconds. It's just like
Oh, yeah.
literally say, screw this shit. That's exactly what they
logging
would
your
do.
hours every day.
Yep. Not happening. Big mackerel.
Cold turkey. People often think that big change happens in a day. People watch these videos with a motivational speaker yelling in your ear about grinding and hustling. They tell you
Ooh.
to just lose weight.
How about
They
hustling
tell you
while
to just
grinding?
quit. Well, a big burly
Even
guy in the
better.
background is shopping.
Or grinding while hustling? I don't know how that works. Huh.
Wood and you think, yeah, I can change. I can be different. Then for one day, you go to the gym, you go for a run, and you eat healthy. Then that day ends and you immediately fall right back into your bad habits. And sometimes your habits get worse
That's what I'm talking about.
by making you binge on all the things you
Oh.
neglected throughout the day. Huge change doesn't happen in a day.
All I can think is, Ronald, stop. So great.
That
Huge
is
change takes
fantastic.
many days of consistently doing slightly better until your habits compound to where you want them to be.
Not gonna happen.
Miscellaneous tips.
If you have problems staying off certain websites, use a website blocker. You can usually find these in the extension store of your browser. This one even has a setting where you can redirect the blocked link to a custom URL of your choice.
Wow.
So instead of wasting my time on Twitter, I get redirected to this motivational video instead.
Oh, shit.
There it is.
Another tip is to watch
Damn.
VODs instead of live
That's fucking
streams. Streamers often have
insane.
sporadic schedules that create a feeling of urgency when they go live, giving you the fear of missing out. If you just watch the VODs, it's easy
Oh,
to fit streams
hell
into your own
no.
schedule, and it gives you the power to watch it anytime you want. The last
Funny.
tip is to delete apps that are distracting. If you want to go on TikTok, for example, you'd have to re-download and sign into the app. This is a pain in the ass which can deter you from going on TikTok.
Fair
so,
enough.
when it comes to enjoying
I'll
games
still do it,
again,
though.
sometimes it's as simple as playing games that you loved
Yep.
during your childhood. Most often, though, it's your addiction to extremely stimulating content that forces you out of doing the things that you love. It's up to you to replace these habits and work harder to live a more fulfilling life. It may seem difficult at first, but it's definitely possible. Consistency and small changes are
I don't
the
think
most
it's
important
possible.
elements in this.
Sounds
So,
pretty
yeah.
impossible.
Make sure to stay safe
Yep.
out there.
Huh. So did you learn anything?
Sure.
Keep a journal. Log your hours. I mean, what else do you want to do? I don't know what to tell you, folks. Folks and
only way.
artichokes. All right, All right, that's it, my dudes. Hopefully you enjoyed our little trip to the internet. It's just a little test. It was a good time. Other than that, you guys take care of yourself, and we'll try to do more streams like this, maybe if you guys enjoy it, but who knows. Other than that, peace out, my dudes.